Hi,
Hello.
this is the JK Not Really podcast. My name is Kurt,
And I'm Jacqueline.
and this is episode 14.
Episode 14. Wow.
So,
Here we go.
one thing I want to say is thank you everyone who's been sharing our videos.
Yes.
We've been having a little increase in activity, which is awesome. That's how we
Great.
get the word out there. And
Yes.
so we appreciate you, and we appreciate all those mega crazy people that are commenting too. Thank you so much.
Yes. Engage. This is
I know we're horrible.
freedom of speech. That's what it's all about. But, we do have an agenda.
Yes, we do.
This is our way of coping with everything and sharing our voice.
Well, and we're just not happy with the way the country's going. So, anyways, to get onto the first thing that we don't like, the 100% tariff on foreign filming.
Yes, I think I heard about that this morning, and it's breaking news. I mean, Trump is just, oh my God, this last week he's just been doing a lot of stupid stuff. So I don't even know how to even think about this, but I really don't like it.
I bet you he got shot down for a feature film.
Probably.
And he was like, I'm going to tariff the shit out of this place.
Maybe, or maybe he didn't like one foreign film. I don't know.
Well, let's think about
Well, he's trying to get the film industry to film here in the United
yeah,
States.
but
it's cheaper
you
to
can't
go.
film The Lord of the Rings here.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
you
exactly.
can't,
Well, you could,
right
but it
there.
would cost a lot of money.
No, but the scenery, you can't get that here.
Well, I
You know what I
guess.
mean? Like, you have to go to other countries sometimes to have different...
Yeah.
And it's artwork.
Don't
Don't tell us our medium.
Well, that's what I
can
don't.
do.
I don't like the fact that the government has hands on the arts. I mean, he's already done that with the Kennedy Center, and I don't know. I mean, if you want the film industry to film in the United States, well, then damn Trump, then give them a tax break, like you do all your billionaires and the corporations.
Yes.
They get all the tax breaks. They're trying and. So why not do that instead of put 100% tariff on foreign filming? That's ridiculous.
So stupid.
Well, that's my take on that. I mean, and he claims this is national security threat. How the hell is that?
Well, and, they're going to just cancel the filming. That's what they're just going to pause the movies. They're going to take the loss because they can't just charge us more to see one movie that was filmed in France than a movie filmed here in Las Vegas or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not going to charge you more. No one's going to go, oh, let me pay twice as much to see that movie.
Yeah, I know. How are you going to collect that? Exactly.
You know,
the popcorn and the Cokes at intermission.
If they're going to cover
be more
this tariff, the other thing that you're going to see go up are all your streaming services. Because you know who owns those? The movie studios.
That's right.
So if you want to pay $40, $100 for Netflix, Paramount Plus, Disney, then be excited about 100% tariff on foreign filming.
Oh, God. Here I went streaming so I could save money. Jesus. Well, there it goes. Another stupid thing with Trump. I mean, but
one of his dumb ideas this week.
Another dumb idea. And there was another one. I don't know much about this. He was saying he wants to open Alcatraz?
Yeah. A prison that has been defunct for a really long time.
Okay.
It's a museum that people tour. The cost of updating that building is going to be...
I cannot even imagine.
They could just build a new one.
Yeah.
For that price. Because it's not even like it's on land. It's in an island. They have to take everything by boat over there.
Yeah. Apparently you can't escape or,
I mean... Someone did.
Well, someone did. I mean, because you can't swim in that water. It's so cold.
It's so cold. And shark infested.
Yeah. I just don't know where he's coming from. I don't even know where. I just saw it on the news as breaking news.
And
I'm
San Francisco's going to let them put up a immigrant prison. What?
Yeah.
It's the worst city you could even... He's just trying to with California.
Yep.
And you know what?
He hates California.
He's going to learn that's not a winning battle.
Yeah. He hates California.
Well, California is probably going to start subsidizing. I've heard some of these things that are going away, like Social Security. And,
really?
And yeah, I hear they're going to start doing it, but only for certain states. So it's already starting this
So the
dichotomy.
States, they'll take care of their own, in other words.
Well, that's what else are they going to do?
Well, I
right?
guess so.
And so California is the 11th strongest economy. So
Well,
Trump really shouldn't be pissing them off because
I
you
know.
think Kentucky can afford their Medicare.
Right. Exactly.
So
I never thought about it that way.
yeah,
Interesting.
just another jab at California. The Alcatraz prison thing is a joke. Just like
That's a joke. Yeah.
like everything. Is a
Everything
joke.
he says. He did this interview with Meet the Press. I don't know if it was last night or the night before, and I think he did it because everybody's pissed off at him about the tariffs and all this. So I think that's why he did it. He's trying to get on.
And also his polling was going down.
Yeah, that
so
too.
He's like,
yeah, exactly. So he thinks, oh, if I go on TV and I sit there and do this interview, well, that'll help. No, it's not helping because all this stupid stuff came out. I mean, like she asked, if he would hold up the Constitution, if he needs to hold up the Constitution. And what was his answer? I don't know. I have a lot of good, attorneys that work for me, which they don't work for him, for God's sake, Trump. I mean, sorry, he doesn't know what the Constitution is all about, for God's sake. He took the oath twice. He took the oath to uphold the Constitution. So if he doesn't know what that is and can't do that, well, then he at his job, okay? Well, he shouldn't be there and he should be out.
This is why I think all those MAGA people need to stop waving the damn flag.
Oh, I hate
like
that.
You're some patriot.
They try to claim it.
You don't want the Constitution. You don't want freedom. You don't want anything that flag stands for.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
does he not even know it? Does he?
Well, he's basically saying well, I have my ways to wiggle around and not have to do it, but he's telling us. He's not lying.
Yeah.
He's saying my attorneys will find some way for me to not have to uphold the Constitution.
Oh,
and
God.
Who wants their president to say that? Apparently, a lot of stupid people.
No, yeah. Well, that was one thing that really got me upset about the whole interview. I was like, are you kidding me? And then, of course, the tariffs. I mean, he kept trying to talk about the $2 versus the $30. Well, the kids should just only buy $2. They only need $2, not $30. Who the hell has $30? I never had $30.
Well, nobody has $30.
What the hell? And then he talked about pencils. Well, the kids can only have 4 pencils versus 100 pencils. I mean,
they go to school for 9 months, 10 months. They need more than 4 pencils.
Exactly. What's ridiculous is that people are going to start to see it. We're going to have empty shelves, okay?
Well,
it's not going to be pretty.
When he was running for president, did he ever at any point say, Christmas is going to be harder when I'm in office?
Or there will be no Christmas.
There will be less toys for Christmas. If he had said that, he guaranteed would not have won.
No.
But now he can say it, and he's telling you what he's going to do. And you know what? People are coming to. There are a lot of Republicans that don't want to be told that they have to buy less for Christmas. That wasn't what they voted for.
Yeah, but this is also going to be on other things as well. But, the thing is, he talks about the recession, and I think she asked him about, if we're going to have a recession. And he basically said yes, but he basically said, well, what we have to do is just go through it because in the long run, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Trump, but most of us cannot survive, during it to even get to the long run. I mean, our 401k's been hit. We can't feed the poor. There's a lot of stuff. The Social Security is going to be gone.
Forget that groceries are going to be expensive. There's also going to be no groceries.
Right.
Let's forget that they're going to be unaffordable. There's just not going to be a lot.
That's true.
Right? With these tariffs and the ports are empty. There's not a lot of imports coming in. We're going to learn what 30%.
Yeah, and I love my avocados, damn it. I am not going to pay $10 per avocado.
That's
going to be like gold,
It's going to be hard. And
this is just, it's
what
just
pisses
ridiculous.
me off is he's saying, oh, it's just short term. He said that about the pandemic too. Do you remember when he's like, it'll be 2 days and it'll be over.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Everybody will be fine. And then it was the worst pandemic in the world and we were stuck in our houses for a year.
A year and how many people? A lot.
Millions of people died.
Yeah. That was bad.
So if we have a recession now, just kind of bouncing back from the pandemic.
Yes.
Like, we're still recovering from the pandemic. Prices are sky high because of the pandemic.
Yep.
Interest rates are high. Inflation, which was doing better under Biden, is back.
It was. Yes.
And we're about to see record inflation, in fact. That after the pandemic, when everyone was out of work for a year and all of this stuff happened, I mean, we're just not going to be able to catch up. Wages are not catching up. And I think that this brings up a topic of like the generations and where the generations
you were telling
are.
me this, which is a very good point.
Because the millennials, if you're a millennial and you're listening to this, you're going to be most affected.
Right.
Because when you hit the job market, we had 2008 under Obama, right? The recession then.
Right.
So we hit the job market. There are no jobs, right? They said go to college and you get a job. That didn't happen for us because there were no jobs when we got out of college. We also had the most expensive college tuitions ever.
Oh, yeah. So then you had to take out all these loans, right?
And so we're burdened with loans, which Trump is calling. He's taking away any program that would help you
go to school.
But also to put off having to pay those loans, to defer them.
Oh, that's right.
Now that the economy is going to hit us, so the millennials, again, you know, there's another suck out of the generational wealth of the millennials. Yep. And now the pandemic happened while we were, you know, just getting to the age of probably buying your first home, starting your first family, just kind of recovering from 2008, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
It had been like a decade since then. So we were like, you know.
Yeah.
But then you get hit with the pandemic.
Right.
And actually, the millennials saw a little bit of wealth increase then because we're highly adaptable generation. But then we get hit with this recession after. It's just going to wipe out this generation's wealth.
It's going to wipe your whole wealth.
Anything that the millennials have built up or done to get to the point they're at now is going to be in jeopardy. Like, I don't think people realize, like, it's going to be a suck of a whole generation of people.
Exactly. And then, of course, Gen X and the baby boomers, it's affecting us with the Social Security and all this stuff. And then that's taking away our 401ks.
No health care.
So we're not going to have any money to leave to our millennial sons.
You're going to spend it on health care.
Exactly.
On possibly nursing homes.
So there you can't even have that.
So the generational wealth won't be passed on to millennials. Literally, Trump is bankrupting an entire age range of people.
Right, exactly.
And the millennials is a huge generation.
Exactly.
And then forget anyone after us. Like
I
Gen
know.
Z, Gen Alpha, sorry, but I don't even know. Like, will there be a United States when they...
Oh, God, you kind of wonder.
Will we be in the future wars? Who knows what will happen?
And, of course, they're not worried about it. Trump and all the billionaires and CEOs and all these big companies, they're not worried about that because they're getting all the money and all the wealth. So they'll be able to pass down to their children, so they don't give a shit about us.
Where do you think all of the money being taken away from us goes, right? It goes to them.
Yes,
and does it trickle down? No, billionaires don't spend more than you to live day to day. They buy the same amount of clothes, they buy the same amount of groceries, so it doesn't trickle down.
No.
Like, maybe they'll buy all of the businesses and maybe 4 or 5 people will own everything. I mean, that might be what happens, but that doesn't help everyone.
No, it doesn't
so
help everyone.
What we're going to witness and what we're witnessing is the bankruptcy of an entire generation of people.
Yeah.
And it's ruined. The country will be ruined. And that's my thing on that.
Yeah. Well, you know, and that's probably why, you know, David Hogg, he's going
to be primarying.
Yeah, he's going to be primarying. And there was like a little controversy, you know, between the Democrats about that, between, you know, the older Democrats versus the younger Democrats.
But he's saying, if you're not doing enough to stop this, he said, well, we want to primary you. And so he's raising money to do it. And I think he's right, really, seriously, because he is a millennial. And he's, you know, we do need to get people in there that are going to fight for this. And I think a younger generation in our government would be a good thing. So they understand what's going on. Like you said, Trump is, I don't know, he's like a golden years, greatest generation. He's old.
Oh, he's really old.
He's very old.
He falls asleep everywhere.
And he poops himself.
And he poops
himself. We all have to remember, That's who's running the country. So, but he doesn't think like how a 29, 38, I think that's millennials right now, are about that age. Like, they don't think like that age. You're starting a family. You're buying your first house. You know, you're just maybe in the middle of your career or changing careers. You know.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't think like that.
Well, he has dementia.
He owns a resort in Florida. He doesn't care.
I even think he's not even alive. He's dead. He's like Vacation at Bernie's. He's a Trump cutout, and everybody's just everybody behind him is actually running the country. And I can go into one person, what I hate is most, but we won't talk about him.
Hey, thank you guys for listening.
So don't forget to like subscribe, and ring the little bell.
Sharing this video and interacting with our video helps us get the word out, helps us grow the channel, and keeps us coming back. So let us know you're enjoying yourself. Like, share, subscribe.
Definitely.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. But
this time around.
He's making a shit ton of money being president.
Oh, God. He's doing,
and all of his
crypto.
All of his friends are going to make money.
Yeah. There's the crypto, and there's what's the other one? The coin?
The Bibles, the shirts, the hats,
He's doing everything, and all that money. He's making millions, and all that money is going into his pockets. You know what I don't like about the crypto is that there's ways of other countries like Saudi Arabia and all. Weren't you telling me?
It happens through all of his ventures. I mean, he's
taking pay to play or whatever they call it.
Yeah, so they're like, if they want to give Trump money directly, they can literally just buy his coin. Which is really hard to track. That's what crypto is all about, right?
Right.
So they can just buy his coin and put millions into his coin, and Trump is going to make a shit ton of money off it. And that's how you can now directly bribe the president of the United States. And they're saying, there's people talking and trying to find out if Saudi Arabia is buying a bunch of Trump coin, and they think they are.
Oh my God, are we going to have to learn that language too? First it was Russia. Now it's that, and then it's going to be China. What the hell?
Russia and Trump are on rocks right now. But
must be.
To the point that Trump doesn't really know what it's like to be poor. He's also deciding to spend a bunch of money on his military parade.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's another thing that pisses me off. He called it, and they called him out in this interview at Meet the Press. But he defended it. He defended the price. He said, it's peanuts compared to the value. I don't know what the hell that means, but he basically said, well, this is really a celebration of the 250-year, why we've had our military, right? I don't think it's about that. It's about his fucking ego. I mean, come on. The money that he's going to be spending on this, it adds up to the same amount of money that he stopped all the funding for, feeding the poor kids in other countries. And all these great programs. I mean, come on.
Everyone to kind of visualize, right? To stop.
Or he took away the meals for the poor, or the meals on wheels.
Yeah,
things.
People are starving.
Starving
and
even
he's
here.
Like, let's do a military parade. But what is this? Like, put it in your mind. Like, this is what he's talking about, right? It's a bunch of soldiers marching down a street with like a big missile and some tanks, and there's like bleachers full of people.
Like 50 tanks.
Maybe not huge American flags in the background. What does that remind everyone of?
6,000, over 6,000 soldiers are going to be marching.
Does that remind anyone of like Russia? Like
North
China?
Korea?
Nazi?
Like, come on. And are the soldiers going to be walking and then they turn to him and go, and, no, they're not going to do that. Please tell me they're not going to do that. I want everyone just
to know that's where the money is important, right?
God.
But that's tyranny.
It is tyranny. Why the hell?
Authoritarianism.
I mean, of course it's going to be televised. I hope nobody watches it. Okay, actually, they were saying on
Let
Facebook,
them waste the money.
On Facebook during his birthday, because it's going to be held on his birthday as well.
Of course.
Of course. So it's really about him. But they say, okay, during that day, they're going to post a picture of Obama all over.
Yeah.
All over social media.
And in fact,
That's what
Obama, will you please like have an event so
Yes.
we can all watch that instead?
Exactly.
Like
Maybe a basketball game
Yeah,
or
do
something,
something.
cool. A picnic, a barbecue, anything.
And we'll all go to that instead.
Yes, exactly. We could serve deviled eggs.
And what's sad, like ultimately all this money will be spent even if we don't watch.
Yeah.
And kids will starve in Africa and other places where we used to be the country that helped.
Yeah.
To stop children from starving, to stop people from catching HIV in countries that had those. Like, that's where that money used to go, and instead it'll go towards a Nazi-style military parade.
Exactly. It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, there's just another example of how he's out of touch with millennials and he's out of touch with normal people. He's not the working man's president. He's like a crazy oligarchical
He has
monster.
dementia. He doesn't even. I think
dementia.
I think he forgets he's even president sometimes. I don't know. But look what's happening. Because Trump is such a. Canada, they elected the prime minister who is
They're going left.
who actually was surprising, and he won by a lot. And then just recently in Australia, the same deal.
Well, Canada was actually leaning to the right.
I know. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, when Trump won, but then once he started all this shit with Canada, they were like, no. And like Trudeau, I mean, I love Trudeau. He's so hot. But anyways,
he's very handsome.
Man. But when he stepped down, everyone thought his party was dead. Like they were like, this is done.
Right.
But actually, people went even more liberal.
Exactly. And the same thing happened in Australia. The way I look at it is the global, more of the global politics. They're working and they're trying to save the democracy and all that. That gives me some hope. Of course, we live in the wrong country right now. But, we can't allow this to happen.
But that'll help in the world stage to motivate action, But, at least if we're going to talk about, like, things happening on the left that are good, even though Trump is about to have his Russian-style parade, his relationship with Russia is on the rocks right now.
Yeah, they had a breakup. I don't know what's going on.
So, the Ukraine deal, right?
Yeah.
The United States signed a security contract with Ukraine in exchange for rights to their natural rare earth minerals.
Right.
Which I think gives America incentive to help take back some of the land taken by Russia with Ukraine.
Right.
Because more land, the more minerals, right?
Right.
Also, military-industrial complex, this is a huge win for them because right when France and Europe are all stopping to buy Halliburton and Boeing, and they're not buying military stuff from America.
So that's the exchange. We're going to go ahead
now
and give
Ukraine
them
will be buying it from us.
We'll give them, and we're also probably going to help them rebuild. Trump, he's going to put a Mar-a-Lago there too?
The military-industrial complex makes a bunch of money off of this war.
Well, of course.
So
they want war.
Maybe I wouldn't say small chance. I'd say 50-50. This is the start of World War III. Russia might see this as like, hey, what the hell? Trump, I thought we were friends.
But this is all... But this is all part of the deal is Ukraine has to win the war in order for this to happen, right? Okay. So we have to win the war. But that's not going to be very good news to Putin. He's going to be pissed off. And that's what you're saying. It might be World War III. Will he use nukes on us?
I don't know.
Does he have? He does.
He does, yeah. Well, I think that President Trump felt like Putin wasn't kissing his butt enough. And so but I actually don't think he made this decision at all because he's a cardboard cutout.
Right.
It was mostly Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, who set this up. And he's kind of more of like a...
corporation guy?
Yeah. He's more of like what Republicans used to be.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that...
Kind of like a Dick Cheney kind of guy.
Yeah. So I think that he's, I think they're setting it up. It does make, Trump look better because he doesn't make a lot of good decisions. And this one is like, at least we get something from this deal, albeit maybe we get World War III. But Europe will be happy with this. A lot of
Well, yeah, because we can't allow Russia to take over Ukraine. We just can't. I hope this works. I guess I don't want to. I don't want to have another World War III kind of thing. But hopefully, if we give them enough, that you could just take care of Russia and that's it. Done.
Hopefully.
Over.
Well,
But-
yeah, and then once it's done, their Earthmen. It's almost like a form of feudalism if you think about it. Like back in the day when kings would be like, "I'll protect your territory, but I'm gonna get all your wheat."
I see. Yeah, I guess it is that way. Maybe Trump is going after the land instead of. I'm gonna take it instead of you, Putin. It's gonna be mine. Na 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 na.
Exactly my thought.
I think so.
But anyways, that's it's something somewhat positive. At least Ukraine will be getting some help in the war.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess that's good.
But I don't think there's any incentive for them to win this war. By the way, I think the incentive is the war. I think the military-industrial complex is going to want this to go on.
Oh, you're
just like
right.
Iraq.
Because otherwise, if it's over and you win, then they don't get any more
They're
contracts.
going to make more money off of the war.
So what are they
going to
do? Give them just a little bit at a time? Okay, a little bit today, a little bit. Okay, over here's a drone. Here's a missile. Here's this. Oh, God, you're right. Well,
Meanwhile,
we'll see.
Russia will deplete. They're running out of money. And they're running out of Russians.
Oh, that's
I don't
true.
know if anybody looks up, there's not a lot of Russians anymore.
Yeah. Well, all the soldiers are getting killed. I mean, he's sending everybody over there, even Russian grandmothers, to go fight. No, I don't know, but he sends everybody. Poor thing. He doesn't. He doesn't care. He's killing all his people.
But if you want an example, there are less Russians now. What do you think is going to happen to Americans? You know what I mean? With this crazy lunatic person who does not care about us.
Yes.
Yeah,
we're going to end up leaving. Yeah, we're going to end up leaving.
Or being killed in a war.
Or killed. Oh, yeah. You're right.
So
that's shitty. I'll look into that. Well,
the global criticism continues, though.
Oh,
thank
yeah.
God. Trump decided to put an AI image of himself dressed as the Pope.
Oh, God.
On
When
True
I first
Social or
saw it, it
whatever.
was like, oh my God, this is not good.
What is he thinking?
I don't know. Well, he does shit like this, and he does it because it's a distraction. He does it so that way everybody's like, oh my God, and so that way we're not thinking about the Ukraine war, or we're not thinking about the tariffs, or we're not thinking about buying Christmas gifts, what we're going to get for our daughter, one, if we can, this is what he does. And he's pissing off. He pissed off, of course, all the Catholics, okay? Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an ex-Catholic, okay? But he pissed them off, and he's pissed off Christians because this is sacred, especially they're still grieving about his death, and he was a very popular pope. And they're actually going, they're going through the enclave or whatever they call it, where they're trying to elect a new pope, and he throws this out there.
And then people are saying, like, the megas.
What are they saying? I want to know.
He should be pope.
Oh,
they're
God,
running
are
him
you
to be the
kidding me?
Pope. What was that guy, that spineless one? Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. Oh, he's so spineless.
Yeah.
I'll put a note on the notes, but he was on there saying that he should run for Pope, and I was like, why would I? Or he'd be selected for Pope.
He actually
and I was
said
like,
that?
what are you saying? Why would you say that?
Yeah, why would you even say that?
Trump should not be Pope. He shouldn't be president. He shouldn't even work at McDonald's.
No, he shouldn't. He has dementia. And he poops in his pants. Honey, Jesus Christ.
It's too much. And then, okay, the audacity to even say that after we sent J.D. Vance, the angel of death, over there to kill him.
Oh, God. Everything that guy touches either breaks or something happens. Look what happened to the trophy. And I think he did something before that. And then he went and saw the Pope, and the next day the Pope died. I mean, for God's sake, keep him away. You know what? Maybe he should go and hang around the president, hang around Trump more often there. Then maybe something will happen.
The internet.
Oh, God.
The internet is hilarious with these J.D. Vance AI videos. I mean, if you have time, go look at them. They're freaking hilarious. But it's like him coming up with this dramatic music, and there's the Pope. And you're just like,
what?
But, after that, then... then Trump should be the Pope. Too much.
That's just way too much. That's
too
just
much.
He's crazy. That should tell you how crazy he is. He's not all there. Oh my God.
But,
That's the way it is, yeah.
I mean, I think the whole Pope thing might be covering up that they had to fire Mike Waltz.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to go.
Yeah, and he waited till after the 100 days because, he didn't want to do it. But like day 102, he decides, and he didn't really fire him, what they said.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He put him off, and he's going to try to get him. He's nominated him for the U.S. ambassador of the UN, but he's not going to get that.
Mike Waltz doesn't know how to use a phone.
Well, obviously he doesn't.
He went on the Signal chat. He added the editor of who was it? The Atlantic.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know how to use his phone.
Right.
Mike Waltz. That's why he's being fired. But why is that worse than Pete Hegseth?
It's not.
Who can be drunk.
Yep.
And just open his mouth about all of the confidential shit.
Yeah, he's the one that started it. He's the one that did it.
He's the one that leaked, right? Because even though Mike Waltz brought the press into the conversation, Pete Hegseth was the one saying the things that shouldn't be said.
Exactly.
On Signalgate. But,
that's true.
Let's keep the drunk.
Yeah, keep the drunk. Jesus.
Although Mike Waltz, anywhere we can get it, we need to get rid of him.
Exactly. So who's going to take his job? Well, he's going to give it to Marco Rubio, nice. Secretary of everything. I mean, this guy has,
a lot of hats.
All right, he's Secretary of State, okay. And then he's acting administrator of the U.S. Agency for International Development. He's acting archivist of the National Archives and Records Administration. And then now he's taking on the National Security Advisor job. For God's sake.
I hear he also has to change and wipe the president when he messes himself.
Oh, God, probably.
Secretary of President Poopy.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on here. I don't know if it's a good thing that he's in there or, he's going to be in charge of all this stuff, or it's a bad thing. I think he's leaning more as far as being just a loyalist to Trump. And basically, I think they're keeping him in line because he's not able to hire, his people. He has to hire MAGA influencing people in there. So he really doesn't.
I think that Marco Rubio, God, if you can save us, Marco Rubio, please do so.
Yeah, grow a spine, man, if you can, because if you're in charge of all this, I suppose.
Old guard Republican in Marco Rubio, who's just like George W. Bush level evil. Yeah. Not like blatant Trump evil.
Yeah.
But I mean, Marco Rubio, if you could bring back the integrity of the Republican Party, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I just don't understand.
Yeah. But, so this is just another example, like I said, where there's no one behind the wheel. Trump does not know what he's doing. And that's why he's putting someone in charge of all these very important things. One person.
How could he do all that? I don't understand.
He can't succeed. He's setting him up for failure.
And then they're firing all the people, that work in these departments. The staffers and stuff. Doge doing all that. How is he going to? I don't understand.
It's going to be a shit show.
Another shit show.
Shit show.
A shit show. Well, I guess that brings us to...
That was a lot, but now we have to do what are we doing?
Well, first I want to say one thing before... And then we'll do the prick of the week.
Okay. One thing before prick of the week.
Prick of the week, I want to say words from Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg.
This morning, I was watching The View, and she was right on in saying that this is all on us. Okay, that's what she said. This is really all on us. If you're a person who likes the fact that Trump is taking away money out of your 401k, if you're a person who likes Trump that's taking away, Christmas. If you're a person who likes Trump getting rid of your Social Security and your health care, well then fine, you're in the right place, okay? But if you're a person who doesn't, well then you can't be complacent. You have to voice it. Use your voice. It's on us. No one's going to save us but us. We have to use our voice. Our voice is powerful. One voice will tell another voice. Then it comes 2 voices, 3 voices. Then it's 100 voices. Then it's thousands of voices. Then millions of voices. We have to do it. Shout it however way you find a way to do it. Please empower yourself and use your voice. That's what I want to say. So now we'll go into the prick of the week.
Prick of the week. Guess who the prick of the week is this week? And he hasn't been it yet.
No, he hasn't been it yet.
But you're the biggest prick.
You are the biggest prick of ever.
It's President Trump.
Congratulations, Donald.
You made it to prick of the week.
Yay.
I think the reason he's prick of the week is first, he's single-handedly destroyed the economy.
Yes.
I don't think any president has like single-handedly destroyed the economy the way he has.
And the world.
But then he has the audacity to tell us that we can only have 2 dolls.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That is bullshit.
And then while we can only have 2 dolls, he can throw a small penis, like
military
birthday
parade party, yeah,
where he gets to show off all his toys to all his friends.
Exactly. And I guarantee you, he will fall asleep in the middle of it.
Oh, I know. He's not going to be awake for it.
That's right.
And then he's whatever. Trump, you're a classless prick of the week.
Prick of the week. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, that should do it for us today.
Signing off.
We're going to sign off, but please remember to
like,
share, subscribe, and ring the little bell.
Everything you do to interact with these videos
Yes.
helps us to spread the word. So thank you.
Exactly. Thank you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.